Hi, this is gonna be part two of GTA 5 and a Red Dead 2 comparison video. Like, share, subscribe. You guys know the basics. So if you're new to the content, I like to talk about video games, specifically games in my collection. So yeah, so GTA 5 and Red Dead 2, obviously, in my opinion, they are the heavy hitters for Rockstar. They're like some of the best Rockstar has to offer. Tons of content, long story, open world, massive open world in both games. But I see like a lot of similarities. Like there's a lot of similarities between the two games. It's very hard to do a comparison video because for these two, because well no easy to do, but it's hard to see the differences. It's hard to see the differences in when it comes to like open world, how they how the game plays, the main mission formula, the overall character, the overall story, and like a similar feel. There's a similar feel, like similar feel to the game. But as I mentioned in part one, there is pacing differences. GTA 5 is a lot faster pace. It gets to the point quicker. Red Dead 2 is slower. It's a lot slower, and with that slow pace, I find which is what gives GTA 5 the edge here in enjoyment. You're gonna have more fun with GTA 5. Red Dead 2 tends to suffer from that, stop and go, stop and go. There's a lot of that stop and go type feel to the game where, you want to take off. You feel like the game is going to take off, but it's slow. It stops to tell a story or stops to show you something like in the open world. And yeah, but a GTA 5 is it just keeps going. There isn't a lot of slow missions. The pacing is always like moving. It's always moving with the characters, and a lot more exciting. It's a lot more lively open world too. Red Dead 2, you being in the Wild West, you guys are basically cowboys. Red Dead 2 does have that thing where you're gonna be isolated, right? You're gonna feel isolated when you are away from the camp. Like the world is so big, and you're gonna be alone for hours and hours just exploring. And it's one of the biggest open worlds of Red Dead 2. GTA 5, you feel there's always people around. Like our modern day world. There's cars everywhere and people on the streets, and yeah. But with Red Dead 2, there's a lot of that isolation. You could be like in the middle of the wilderness, isolated. So there is a sense of isolation in Red Dead 2. But overall enjoyment in terms of mission structure, the mission formula, pacing, and GTA 5 is more enjoyable. But in terms of outside of the main story and like things to do, I would say Red Dead 2 has more. It does have more because the content alone, there is over 230 species of animal in the game. I mentioned this like a lot of times, many times, but there's tons of animals in the game. With there's a weapon bonus, so you gotta gain a perfect pelt quality. Specific animals require perfect pelt quality per like requiring certain weapons to be used. So you would have to use a small game arrow to get a perfect pelt quality on like some sort of rabbit or like a snake or something like that. Or you gotta use like a certain type of a rifle to get a perfect pelt quality on a deer or so. And so that alone right there's so many ways to, approach the animal hunting mechanic. And with there being so many animals, right? From bears to deers to snakes to turtles to alligators to birds, tons of animals in the game, to sheep to cows. There's so many. And with that alone too. GTA 5 though, however, there isn't really there's the emphasis is more on I find it's more on discovering vehicles. Like there's tons of sport vehicles in the game, right? With there being a Bugatti, a Beverly Hills, a Lamborghini Diablo, a Koenigsegg, different Lamborghini. Yeah, so it's exploring the world. And with the GTA 5, I like how, they're, I'm gonna get into side missions in the next video, but GTA 5, next video I'm gonna show gameplay. But with GTA 5, the good thing about it is the switching between the three characters, right? And each of the three characters are protagonists. They have different, they can tackle different side missions, and they have different specialties, right? And you can grow on their abilities, like Franklin driving, Michael shooting, or Trevor, rage missions. And yeah, so there's different missions you can do. Red Dead, now, again, with a GTA 5, as well as that too, you have activities. You have the skydiving thing, you got the helicopter jet challenges, and you got the submarine thing. There's buy your property, and yeah. Going back to Red Dead 2 in terms of content, also in terms of content, there is bounties as well. There is a bounty, so you can go to this police like station. Back in those days, it wasn't stations. It was more like, like in these small houses. But you can go and find. There'll be like a certain poster like up in the wall, and then there'll be like a bounty. The police is looking for a certain outlaw or a murderer, and then you have to bring this person back, and then a basic bounty system. You get a pay for it. There's, in terms of a customization, which I'm going to get into next. Again, with customization in Red Dead 2. Oh wait, another thing too. There is quest items too in Red Dead 2. So you're in a camp of like 15 people, and like certain people will want certain things, and then you explore the world, and it's massive. There's so many areas you can go to, but in terms of it's hard to even say. You gotta really play to know it, to feel it. But there's quest items, or a cigar pack, or a certain book that someone's looking for, and you gotta explore the world to find this. Customization, it's basically equal in terms of customization. Tons customized car, the tint, the spoiler in GTA 5, obviously, paint, the rims, wheels. Red Dead 2, you can customize your horse, the saddleback, the color of the horse, and the spurs, and a certain the saddle strip, the a saddle strap. So certain saddle straps will give you certain bonuses in terms of speed and stamina. And customization in Red Dead 2. Now GTA 5 is basically like in terms of clothes. It's basic. You go to the shop, buy clothes. Red Dead 2 has that too, but Red Dead 2 has there is this new thing in it where with the clothes, you can hunt animals and get the perfect quality. There is tons of cool cowboy outfits, which I mentioned before quickly, but cool cowboy outfits and vests, sweaters, hoodies. Well, not really hoodies, but sweaters, shirts, cowboy hats, cowboy boots, cowboy chaps, cowboy pants. And with the you bring back these from the 250 different animals in the game. There are bonuses with when you bring back certain pelts from whatever, a deer or cow or whatever, a sheep, snake, alligator. You can craft this guy. The chopper will craft you uniforms, and they're really cool looking. They're very cool looking. But you can't get you can't get certain uniforms until you get that perfect pelt from the animal. So yeah. So customization, and there's a lot more customization too across both games. I believe you can customize property. Oh no, you can't. That's online. But yeah. Now customization, pacing, and in terms of restriction on gameplay, I feel Red Dead 2 did have that restriction. GTA 5 in terms of smooth overall movement and mechanics, it plays a lot better. It just plays smoother and you move smoother. Red Dead 2 is a lot more restricted in you feel heavy, very heavy, harder to get around, and the game being too realistic, picking up things, looting enemies, it's slow animations to do that. But GTA 5 is just the automatic pick up ammo or money clip, you know, like those older game mechanics. Red Dead 2, it's a lot slower. Everything is a lot slower and the movement is a lot slower and harder to get used to. The shooting, the aiming, moving, cover. GTA 5 is smoother. In all those, areas. That's where GTA 5 gets a big bonus for me in terms of, mechanics and controls and movement and yeah. So NPCs, this is kind of a minor thing. The non-playable characters, both games, they're very realistic. They're really realistic. A little bit more in Red Dead 2 in terms it does slow down to show the realism a lot more. Red Dead 2 is a lot more. You can feel, you can really. Well, not a lot more. It's a little bit more. You can feel these random people come to life. The small folk, the rich folk, the police, they feel very real. The other cowboys, other outlaws, and bounty hunters, they feel very real in the dialogue and the voice acting. GTA 5 as well. Regular everyday people on the street. People in Beverly Hills, rich people, and the police. Same idea basically. People in the ghetto, people in the countryside, hillbillies, and everywhere. And again, the uniqueness in the game. Both games have a strong sense of uniqueness. Everywhere you go feels uniqueness, and how the game plays, obviously. But when you go to, obviously, there is GTA 5, no, Red Dead 2, there is New Orleans, Lemoyne, Saint Denis, which when you go there, New Orleans feels they're very different from Saint Elizabeth, which is like Saint Elizabeth is more of like, some sort of industrial. No, well, not no, not industrial, like a regular town of grasslands and farmlands, and whereas Saint Denis is more city area, bigger buildings and more rich people. So they more uniqueness. And Sandy Shores in GTA 5, that's a big a desert area where Trevor comes from. Feels very different from Beverly Hills. The color, the people, the overall environment, the visuals, how the people act, and yeah. So it has that uniqueness in feeling the difference, in people, the technology, the visuals, the how people are reacting and everything. But that's just my part 2 video. Next video is part 3. I'm gonna show gameplay next video, for sure. I'm gonna show gameplay and comparison video. Let me know if you guys. What I know these games are super popular. Have you guys played any of these games? You guys plan to play, them, and let me know which games do you guys want me to compare next. This is part 2. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Thank you.